We're constantly hearing about two of the biggest challenges on the planet, right? How are we going to feed a growing population? And at the same time, how are we going to generate enough clean energy? But what if the solution to both was hiding in plain sight, in the exact same field? Now, this is what a lot of people think, and honestly, for good reason. We've all seen it, these massive solar farms that just take over huge areas of land that could have been growing food. It really sets up a fundamental conflict. So you have this tug of war. On one side, we have the absolute necessity of food security, and on the other, the urgent need for clean energy to fight climate change. When it comes to land, it's always felt like a zero-sum game. You can have one, or you can have the other.
And that really gets to the core of this land dilemma. I mean, it's simple math, isn't it? The more land we devote to solar, the less we have for crops. And this competition, it's only getting more intense as the demand for both just keeps on growing.
But hang on. What if we've been looking at this all wrong? What if this wasn't really a competition, but an opportunity for a partnership? And that brings us to this incredible concept, a truly symbiotic solution that turns that whole rivalry on its head. It's called agrivoltaics. So what is it? The idea is actually brilliantly simple. It's just putting agriculture and solar panels together on the exact same piece of land. So you're generating power and growing food at the same time in the same place. And believe it or not, this isn't some brand new idea. Researchers in Japan were looking into this way back in the 1980s because they were already struggling with limited farmland. Okay, so how does this actually work in practice? Well, it's all about creating a unique little microclimate. The solar panels are elevated and they provide partial shade. That shade cools down the ground, which means less water evaporates from the soil, and it also protects the plants from really intense heat. But here's the really amazing part. It's a two-way street. The benefits flow both ways. We all know solar panels get hot, and when they overheat, their efficiency drops, while the crops underneath release moisture into the air. And that cooler, moister environment actually helps the panels operate at a better temperature. It's a true win-win. So when you get this symbiotic system up and running, it leads to a whole host of really tangible benefits. Let's dig into some of the impressive results. And the outcomes are pretty incredible. For starters, land productivity just skyrockets. You're also looking at massive water conservation. And for farmers, this can be a total game changer. They get a diversified income from selling electricity, which is a huge buffer against bad growing seasons. The panels also act as a shield, protecting crops from things like hail or a scorching sun. And all of this happens while you're generating clean, carbon-free energy. I mean, just stop and think about this number for a second. In a world that is facing serious water scarcity, saving 15 to 30% on irrigation is huge. That benefit alone could make farming possible in arid regions, where it's getting harder and harder to grow anything. This chart really illustrates the core advantage. There's a metric called the land equivalent ratio, or LER. As you can see, if you farm 1 acre and put solar on another, you get 100% output from each. But with agrivoltaics, you might get, say, 90% of your crop yield and 90% of your solar yield, but from the same single acre. You add them together and you're getting 180% productivity. It is literally more than the sum of its parts. And this isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. The engineering is really clever. There are different designs for different needs. You've got these overhead systems raised way up on stilts, perfect for letting big tractors drive right underneath. Then there are vertical systems that act like solar fences. They cast shade in the morning and afternoon, but let the sun blast through midday. And you have inter-row systems that fit between rows of plants. Each design is just a different answer to the same puzzle. How do you perfectly balance sun, shade, and farming operations? But of course, it's not all sunshine and roses. To get a realistic picture, we absolutely have to look at the hurdles that are standing in the way of this becoming mainstream. So the upfront cost is, without a doubt, a big one. These specialized structures are just more expensive than your standard solar farm. The design is also really complex. You need agronomists, solar engineers, and economists all working together. You also have to remember that crops that love sun, like corn or wheat, might not do as well with the extra shade. And a huge one, in a lot of places, the policies and regulations just haven't caught up, which creates a lot of uncertainty for farmers. So yeah, this is not a silver bullet. The key is crop selection. It works incredibly well for plants that are shade tolerant, like lettuce, spinach, a lot of berries. Some of them even see their yields go up. But for other crops, it takes really careful planning and management. So where does all this leave us? Is this just a niche idea, or are we really looking at a glimpse into the future of agriculture? Let's check out the trajectory here. While from that early research in the 80s, we now have successful pilot projects proving the concept all over the world, from vineyards in France to vegetable farms in Japan. But the future is where it gets really exciting. I mean, imagine smart panels that can actually track the sun and adjust the light for the crops below, or using AI to manage everything with pinpoint precision. People are even researching new crop varieties that are specifically bred to thrive in these conditions. Which leaves us with this powerful final question. Agrivoltaics really transforms a story of competition into one of synergy. It offers a real, tangible path forward, and it makes you think that maybe, just maybe, we really can feed our world and power it, all from the very same piece of fertile ground.